welcome to another video. So, Qwen-2.5 Coder has been launched. Well, technically, Qwen-2.5 Coder was launched before in two sizes, the 1.5B and 7B sizes, but we have now got four more sizes, a 0.5B size, 3B size, 14B size, and a 32B size. And the main star of the show in this launch is the 32B size. I'll be mainly talking about the 32B size. So, the 32B size model is apparently better than GPT-4o and very similar to Claude 3.5 Sonnet, at least in a lot of benchmarks, which is just insane. They say it has become the current state-of-the-art open-source code model, matching the coding capabilities of GPT-4o. While demonstrating strong and comprehensive coding abilities, it also possesses good general and mathematical skills. It also supports more than 40 languages, which is really great for sure. The 14B model also seems to be pretty similar to the 32B model, but obviously, size matters in this case. So, there's that. One thing that I really don't like about this blog post is using it with Cursor. Why Cursor? Qwen is an open source project, and Cursor is not. Then, why show using it with proprietary software? They could have used Aider or Cline for this, but they didn't, which is just not so good. Anyway, all of them are under the Apache 2 license, which means they can be used without any restrictions. The model weights are now available on Hugging Face. It is also now available on Ollama, so you can probably use it locally if you have an RTX 4090, which I don't, and I'm sad. But anyway, there is a Hugging Face space that you can try out for free. But I won't be testing it in a retro style with questions, because that's not a good enough benchmark for a coding-specific model. Instead, I'll be using it with Hyperbolic, because it seems they have updated the new model there, and have a $10 free credit that we can use for testing. It costs 20 cents for about 1 million tokens input and output as well, which is just amazing. So, let's get started and check it out with both Cline and Aider. Also, Aider has also updated their benchmarks, and the new coder model now comes under the Claude 3.5 Haiku model, beating DeepSeek, which is more than 5 times bigger than Qwen. So, this is also amazing to see. But let's get started and check it out as well. Let's start with Cline. To use it with Cline, first, get it updated. Now, go to Settings and choose OpenAI Compatible API. Now, enter the API key that you get from Hyperbolic along with the model ID like this. It should look something like this. Once done, we can start using it. Let's start with some simple stuff. I have this Next.js app here. I wanted to edit this and make it a book tracker app. It should have charts and everything, and it should be a one-page app. Let's just send it over here. It's generating now. Okay, so it wasn't able to do it. For some reason, it just started generating a whole bunch of file names and got stuck there for a pretty long time. It wasn't going ahead, and I also tried to do it again to see if it wasn't like a one-time thing, and it did that again. So, it didn't work. I tried with some other prompts, and it still didn't work. So, it is an issue for sure. I mean, people don't want to create HTML pages with it, so I don't know why this is happening. It may be that it isn't good at tool calling. I had a very similar issue with the previous Qwen models as well, which is what made me almost leave those models. I know that they are good in many cases, but the Qwen models are so unreliable that I can't make it do anything useful, at least for me. It's bad at instruction following for sure. But let's see it with a basic HTML project as well, to see if it can at least do that. I'm asking it to make the same stuff, but in HTML. Let's wait a bit. Okay, it's now done. It again got stuck on recursively changing the same file again and again, even if it was done. So, I had to stop it manually. Once I did that and ran it, it looked good and worked fine as well, which is pretty good. Although, the chart wasn't working as well, but that's fine for a one-shot generation. So, I obviously wouldn't even in my dreams say that it is comparable to GPT-4 or Claude 3.5 Sonnet, or even DeepSeek for that matter. They are much more reliable and better. Also, I thought maybe it's an issue with the Hyperbolic provider, so I tried it with the free $1 credit from Fireworks, and it again did the same things. So, I'm pretty sure it's just the model itself that's not so good. Now, let's see it with Aider, because it may be that Cline is not supporting the model well. So, just get Aider upgraded, and then just change the OpenAI base URL like this, along with the API key. And once you do that, just change your default model, and once you do that, you can start using it. I am again in the same Next.js project, and I'm just going to ask it the same thing as I did with Cline, which is to make a book tracker app. Okay, it's doing that now. Let's wait a bit. Okay, it's now done. So, if I run it, I get this error. If you are a Next.js developer, then you'll probably know this error. This error comes when you are using the app router, but for some reason, you also have the legacy page router. And if we look at what it did, well, it created the file inside the legacy pages folder, which means it didn't look at the files or anything, and just blindly created the file, which means it again didn't do the tool calling and stuff correctly. But I did just move the page directory file to the app directory, and it again gave me an error related to charts. So, I just went again to Aider and gave it the error to fix, and it just started blindly, without any context of files or anything, and gave me an HTML file saying that I should implement it like this. Man, if I have to implement it myself, why the hell am I using this? Anyway, I just went ahead to the file and removed the chart thing, and then it at least started working, and to be honest, it's not so good. It's like the most basic thing that I have seen, but I mean, it's fine. After doing a lot of work myself, it at least works. Now, what do I think about this model? Well, the model is okay for the size. I'd actually prefer using DeepSeek or Mistral Large over this, or even Codestral for that matter. I really don't get why every model wants to beat Sonnet. I mean, I can train a model on just benchmarks and make it beat every model on the planet. But that's not the point of benchmarks. I think that Qwen has changed their trajectory, and they just want to become another hype model. They are on the same trajectory as Mistral. They have good models, but the comparison on benchmarks and everything makes me want to use them even less. I won't be using this model at all, to be honest, and I don't care how many space shooter games it can create with HTML because I'm not creating one-page apps. Sonnet and Haiku are still the best. I know that the same people who criticized Haiku for pricing will go ahead and again compare benchmarks and say, "Oh, see, a small model can beat Haiku," but won't even test it in real-case scenarios where it fails blatantly. I used to like Qwen, but I'm really sad that I can't say that anymore. This is also the reason that I had recommended Small LM in the Copilot alternative video, because those models are actually better than the models Qwen is producing. I think that it can be good at like one-shot programming, like what Aider tests it for, and it may also be that they have also trained it on Aider's benchmarks as well, because Aider's benchmarks have been quite a big thing these days. But, in large contexts, it just fails blatantly. I'm pretty sad, and it's not so cool. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked this video, consider donating to my channel through the Super Thanks option below, or you can also consider becoming a member by clicking the Join button. Also, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye.